Welcome to another episode. Today we have Stephanie Brown from Oxenpine. Today we talk about starting and marketing a handmade product e-commerce store. We talk about the uncomfortable decisions that Stephanie needed to make to push her business forward, and that one platform, you might be surprised, that Oxenpine leverages to get over 500,000 visits per month. Check it out.
This is the Marketing Natives, providing actionable ways to grow, improve, and succeed in your business. And now, your hosts, Christian and Aaron.
All right, Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to start with the quintessential question. Tell us about your business. Tell us about your company.
Yes, totally. So do you want to know about my business? Do you want to know how it started or everything? All of the above?
All of the above. Anything you can tell us. We'll go from there.
All right, you got it. So I had started, going back to the very beginning. I used to make fun of my friends in college that were taking this bookbinding class, like hardcore. I'd make fun of them. And then fast forward to I got married. We have one child. We're in San Francisco doing an internship. My husband is doing an internship for school. And I see this like really cool, like crew-made leather journals on the street. And I'm like, those are really cool. Like I had this street vendor. And I was like, I bet I could figure that out. So I kind of got obsessed with leatherworking and bookbinding. And then I like to say that my geeky hobbies turned into a business. So one time it was in 2014, just before Thanksgiving. I'd worked really hard and gotten a bunch of leathers that I'd like hand picked out, and then I cut into leather journal covers, and I was really picky about the paper that I got and the particular kind of thread that you use to sew it in. Had really spent a lot on my product photography, and had a friend who was key in helping me know what keywords to use and stuff on listings and put them up on Etsy. And all sold out before Christmas. So, and it wasn't a ton that I had at the time, but I was like, hey, maybe I'm onto something here. That was really fun. Let me see what I can do with this. So from that point forward, I started being a lot more intentional about what I was doing with my business. And at one point, it was probably taking over like a third to a half of the square footage of our house before we moved it out into a warehouse space. And since then, we've moved it into a larger one too. So that's kind of like the quick overview of everything.
So you're in McKinney now. Were you from McKinney and then you guys moved to San Francisco for school, or how exactly did you get from there to here?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in Washington State, went to school in Utah, and that's where I met my husband. And then once we had both finished school, he had gotten a job offer out here, so we moved out to Texas, and this is where we've been ever since. And we love it here.
Awesome. And then whenever you were out in San Francisco, that's when you started to do stuff on Etsy. But now, I mean, we'll show this with everybody later. You have an actual website. When did you make the transition to like a Shopify site before like leaving Etsy? Or if you still are on Etsy, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still on Etsy. So I keep all of my sales channels open. So I've got Etsy, Amazon Handmade, and then also like our own website. So I can't remember, it was probably about 2 years into it. I think we created our first website for it then. And since then we've revamped it. And you see what we have now, which is kind of always evolving. But yeah, it probably took a few years to really get our own website up and going.
I read somewhere, I believe it was on your website, that you're very particular, right, about both the leather and also like the paper material as well, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, yeah, totally. So I know about probably more about leather than anybody else you'll ever talk to. So, which is unusual in the leather field. There's not a lot of women, to be honest. So most of my interaction and experience have been with other guys that have gotten started in this and getting tips from them. Some of them have been like awesome, like old timers that have been doing like chaps and doing some extensive like leather carving and stuff, or like extensive designs in veg tan leather. So I wanted a leather, when I came to looking for a leather that I wanted one that was going to feel really great in your hand, but then hold up really well over time, and then require really not a whole lot of maintenance, because the more you touch leather, the better it's going to feel, the better it's going to get. So we use an oil tanned leather, and that means there's a lot more protectants and stuff in it. And the more you handle it, like the edges will kind of darken up and get really beautiful and get this nice patina on it. So I was really particular about what kind of leather, just by trial and error at first, and learning as much as I could and asking lots of questions and getting lots of samples, trying out different hides that way, and kind of settled on one. And there's what's called like a temper to leather. It's how firm it feels, and how much it like kind of folds and stuff. And I'd wanted one that kind of had a medium one. I didn't want it to be real floppy like a upholstery leather, but I didn't want it to be super stiff like a straight veg tan leather, before it's been softened up. And so I kind of found this happy medium with that one. And then my paper, I didn't want it to be like this thin, just like a computer paper, in there. And so it's much thicker. And then I went so far to be geeky and test out like dip calligraphy pins on it and all sorts of different mediums, even to like really light watercolor that you can do on it. And it does wrinkle the page a little bit, but it works pretty well because it's not specific watercolor paper. But it takes a lot of mediums really well. And it's a lot thicker and nicer feeling too. So yeah, I got a little obsessed with those things.
Do you think that's what, you've gotten compliments on that from other people who have been like, I've been looking for something like this that was, a little bit more sophisticated or a little bit better quality? Like, is that what people choose your brand over others for, is because you did pay attention to those details?
Yeah, I think so. So it comes down to the details, and it's hard to show through just online pictures and stuff too. And so trying to convey that to someone has always been a challenge for us, but just making sure that we state, yeah, we use the best materials and the best workmanship when we create each of these by hand. That's definitely been key. When I started my business, I decided two things. I would use the best materials, so I'd make the best product, and I'd give the best customer service, and I'd never be grumpy with a customer. So because I don't know about you guys, but I've had plenty of bad customer service experiences where, it's my fault, even when it wasn't. And there was really not an easy way to fix it. And so my key there was to figure out, how can I be nice to someone even when it's not my fault? And so I think that's been a huge thing too, because people like to just be heard.
Yeah, I think that's true in every aspect of life, but that's definitely good for this. For sure. And it's interesting, going back to what you said earlier, is you are like one of the only women. So it's funny, or it's not funny to me. Like, it's your husband's is he hands off, and you're running this and he helps you a little bit, or is this just you, or do you have a team? Who's all part of the company right now?
Yeah, good question. So my husband does help a lot, but he also has a full-time job. So, it's those little things that I may need help with. I always run ideas by him, and, ask his opinion on things and stuff too. So he's very much involved in it as much as he can be. But I do have a team. So I have a team in my shop that helps with all of the production. And then I have a couple people too that are not always in the shop, but sometimes in there, that help with like customer service and order management. At this point, it just started to get too much for me to do all on my own. And to be honest, having a good team is the best way to grow any business. There's no way, like, as much as I'd like to tell you it was me, it wasn't. So I've had really good team members and worked to like figure out how to build a good team. And that has been really key in helping grow it, and also help support it. Because there's a pretty big psychological load, I feel like, with running your own business as well, that you have to, have some help. You have to have some help. You have to have some ways that you can delegate and kind of offload some of that.
I wanted to ask this because I love the name Oxenpine. How did that come about? Was it just all you? Tell me about the name of the company.
Yeah, totally. So it actually used to be named something different, which it used to be called a cherry blossom, like cherry, like happy. But I had to explain that every time I said it. It was kind of like a funny play on words, but hard to explain. So I had come to a friend who did marketing and asked him to help with a rebrand. And we had spent a lot of time like figuring out, a new name that would maybe be a little more gender neutral or even a little bit more masculine, because we are working with leather, and trying to figure out something that way. So one that really stuck out was the oxenpine, because ox like a cow and then pine like a tree for paper. So that seemed to just pair perfectly. And then we were just able to, like, once, I made that decision, we were able to really run with it. So, and I've never looked back. That's been probably one of the key things that we've done that has really helped as well. That helped me feel more settled about where the business was going and stuff too.
When was that transition? Like, I guess, when did the company start? And then when did you make that transition? Like, how far into the company?
Yeah, so we started in 2014, and I believe it was 2017 that we switched over the names on that. So, and that was right when we were kind of going through, I mean, there's plenty of different transitions, I'm sure, as you know, where you make jumps in growth and stuff too. But I feel like that really helped to clarify who we were too, instead of being this other name that didn't really say anything about what we were. Oxenpine Leather Goods Co. definitely describes exactly what we are.
Awesome. And for your customers that you have currently, are most of them coming from Etsy? Like, I think you said earlier that you have like all your like you're on Amazon, you're on Etsy, and then your own website. Where do the majority of your customers, like, how do they find out about you, and where do they purchase?
Yeah, totally. So the majority of our business comes from Etsy, and then a good portion, depending on the time of year, comes from Amazon. And then also our own website has been growing steadily over the last few years, which we use a lot of Pinterest ads, and drive a lot of traffic that way. And Pinterest has a longer sales cycle, so sometimes you don't see it right away. But that's a really good way to go, because we are visual. People need to see the product as if they're holding it. And that's a perfect way, because people can save the pins and come back later.
Mm-hmm. You said you started with the journals. Have you always had the other products, or was that added afterwards?
The other products were added after. So I started with the journals, and then I was looking for other products that would be useful. At first, we didn't actually personalize the journals, which is a huge part of the business. I'd say, 90% of what we send out the door, maybe even higher, is personalized. And so we didn't personalize at first, but once we started getting into that, we started looking at other things. And the luggage tags and the cord wraps were the two products that came next. Cord wraps to keep your headphones and computer cords organized. And the luggage tags were cool because you could put anything from like your initials to all the way up to the name, phone number, address on there, which we still do. And we get a lot of companies too that put their logos on them too. So we have a lot of corporate orders that way. And those are a lot of fun. So yeah, so we were looking for ways to, other products that would add value, because we feel like our customers are very sentimental. They feel very much a part of the process with creating their gift. It's usually a gift either they're giving to themselves or to someone that they really care about. And so being able to put something meaningful on there, even if it's as simple as like initials, has really gone a long way. So we keep looking for other ways, other products that add a lot of value that they can personalize too.
So I have a request, because I haven't seen it on the website. I love leather goods anyway. Like, I have a travel bag and dot bag and all that stuff, which I saw that you do have a dot bag. You guys need to make a backpack.
The backpack would be so cool. We've played around with a few designs with that too. One of my team members, she's really key in like the sewing pieces of everything, and her and I will sometimes make up some fun prototypes. So we have a lot of fun too. We'll make up some random stuff like
that's cool.
Like the backpacks. One time she made one that even cinched at the top, but also like a little chapstick holder for like your keychain, or even a little holder for like your hand sanitizer to hook onto your keychain too. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with that, but backpacks would be really cool. Those would take a little more time to figure out, because like I said, we do make everything in our shop. And so figuring out every piece, I'm a stickler for details too. And so I do not put something out to sell unless I feel like it's very much a finished good and it's ready to go. But yeah, backpacks would be really cool.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'll just keep notes on the website. Just keep checking back and forth.
Totally.
Whenever that
Please
happens.
do.
What's been like something like that's transitioned within the business? So the name changed and your business has continued to grow. But what's like a transition that you guys have made, like as you've learned? So you've added team members, but like, has there been any like focus or anything that you're like really working on right now that's helped you move to a different part of the business? Like I know that you guys, like Christian said, you guys started with the journals, and then you've expanded. But is there anything else that's new that's coming up with that?
Yeah, so we just launched our wristlets. So for like holding your keys and stuff on popular way because
Oh,
you can stick your hand right through them. And those are really fun, and you could stamp personalization on that. But yeah, I don't know if there's been one key thing that could move the business forward. I think it's lots of little things. And I think it's lots of little things that a lot of times have come from teams too, or they bring up something that's really important, something good to look at, to focus on too. I'm trying to think if there's been any one big thing that's been like, yeah, that's pushed the business forward. I'm a slow and steady kind of growth person. So I'm going to say that's the way to go, just because that's what I believe in. I bootstrapped to start the business. So I've, sold a bunch of my own crap and to have the funds to do it and stuff. And I've continued to run it completely debt free from the beginning. And so, I wanted to make sure that it was, a viable idea, and that it was a product that people wanted to buy, and that it was like a long-term thing, not just like a fad or something. And so I think maybe doing your research and then always moving forward. Don't think that you're ever like, okay, I've arrived. That's it. If you're at that point, then maybe you're burned out. Or maybe there's another reason you feel burned out too, or whatnot. But yeah, I think that always pushing forward and looking for new ideas and ways to improve. I think that's probably been a big key factor in our growth, is always looking for ways to improve, not being afraid to, shoot that sacred cow. Just because it's been done one way doesn't mean that it needs to be continued on that way. We're okay changing processes and moving through different ideas to try out too. And, we have messed up along the way too. So
No, I think that's a great answer. And congratulations on keeping the business debt free.
Yeah.
I think that's something that, we've done too. And it's just been
Thank
a
you.
blessing, right? Even through this
Yes.
pandemic as well. Having a
Absolutely.
debt free business is a great thing. Have you
Absolutely.
always, you think, wanted to own your own business? Or was this something that sort of grew on as you sort of figured out like, oh, wait a second, I think I can make a living out of this?
Yeah, I think that that's a great question. I think that I've always wanted to own my own business, but didn't know what that actually meant. I don't know if you know what it actually means until you're like, oh, wow, that means that I'm, the leader of this whole thing, and people look to me for the answers, and to look for me for the decision a lot of times too. But, I think that it's a cool idea to be like, yes, I want to have my own business. Like, yeah, I've always wanted to have my own business. I think it would be fun. I just didn't know what it was, and I never thought, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. But when it kind of, came forward, like here's this thing I really enjoy doing and I really care about. And then I started to kind of like make it into a business too. That became really fun and also challenging at the same time. Stuff that you just never think is going to come up, and stuff comes up all the time. I get questions from customers still all the time that I've never had before. They come up with the greatest questions, that they're just picking things apart to make sure they understand what they're getting and stuff. And we definitely want to make sure they understand. And so we help everyone. But yeah, you get questions all the time from team members and customers that you just never would anticipate. And so, yeah, like I've always thought it would be fun to have my own business. And I grew up with a dad who was very entrepreneurial minded, and I appreciated that a lot too. But did I ever think I was going to? No, to be honest. But I love what it's turned into, and I think it's a good example to our family, to our kids, to see the hard work and to appreciate it. Now, I don't think they always love it, but I think they appreciate it and they like it. And hopefully it's helping teach them the value of hard work along with their chores,
Right.
So, yeah. So, yeah.
What do you most enjoy then? Or what do you most enjoy, and what surprised you the most that you did enjoy starting the business. So you're like, okay, I know what this is now, and I like the part of the business, but I enjoy this more than I thought that I ever would.
Yeah, like I already knew that I loved making things with my hands. So I mean, I graduated in exercise science. That has nothing to do with leatherworking or anything, you know.
Right.
And so, you know, I knew that I loved to make stuff and do that kind of thing. But the thing that surprised me the most was I actually really love sales. So I love helping my customers, but my corporate clients as well, find that exact thing that's going to meet their needs and be something a little bit different and a lot more meaningful for a gift or a promotional item, whatever they're looking for.
You mentioned corporate clients, and yeah, that's a big part on the website. It looks like corporate gifts and wedding is. Can you kind of delve into both of those? Like, what are the options there? What do you do for people who are having weddings or for corporate gifts? What do you offer for them?
Yeah. So by way of weddings, one of our biggest sellers by far is vow books. We kind of found this little niche where, you know, people were looking for something a little bit nicer, and we love helping them. It's so fun to hear their stories. And right now it's been challenging for a lot of them because their dates have changed. They've had to like postpone. And so that's been hard that they've done that. And we have wanted to help them as much as we could with that. So the vow books are really fun. We have a variety of different stamps. I don't know if I explained how we do our personalization. We have like little individual metal pieces, or if it's like a logo or something, we have like a special metal stamping piece made up, and we use heat and pressure to stamp in each character or the logo. And so it's this really beautiful impression in the leather. Well, the vow books are fun because they have a variety of stamps to choose from to say vows or his or hers or his vows and her vows. And then they can put like their name and their date or their initials. People have gotten really creative. You know, they've done, you know, just like if it was you, Aaron, it was like Aaron's vows. Like they've put their names on there and really personalized it and stuff too. So there's been some really fun things with that. And then corporate clients, you know, we get people doing gifts for, you know, important clients that they have or all of their employees. We've worked with several different companies on hats too. Hats are really popular with that too. Some leather patch hats, those are really fun. And just a cool different way to show some branding. And I see your hat and it made me think of that too, Aaron. I was like, yeah, you need a leather patch hat too, right? Is that leather on there or is it something else?
No, it's leather. Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Okay, cool.
We love the leather kind of stuff. This was before we knew you, so we definitely use
awesome. You. Cool. Well, yeah, well, let me know. Yeah, so we love the corporate clients. It's fun to help them figure out what they need, and you know, sometimes they'll do custom stuff. We did probably I think it was about 1,000 menu covers, custom made the design and everything. That was really fun to work on. And so we've done some custom stuff like that too. Now, I mean, of course that takes longer because you got to nail down to the design and everything and make sure the details are just where the customer wants. But yeah, those are a lot of fun too, and help them get just exactly what they're looking for that is going to be more meaningful than just, you know, a pen with their name on it.
Well, I'm thinking for myself anyway, it's kind of just personal for the wedding. Sorry for like eventually. So I'm putting it in here. Like Christian's going to get married too, so he used the vow books. But I want to get the vow books as well. That may be a good anniversary gift because we wrote down our vows, but just I may rewrite it and put it in that book and give that to her. Like that may be a good idea. So they could use it for people who have already written their vows and don't have something nearly as cool as this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a good way to preserve it because, I mean, obviously it's going to last forever in the leather book. And yeah, we've had people do it too for renewing of vows and stuff too. So it's really sweet to see what people do, and it makes it really personal for them. And that's really cool. And they share their story with us. So, you know, if y'all end up doing that, let me know. I love hearing the stories.
Yeah, we have a little crazy story. But I'm curious now, what's the turnaround time for a personalized for people?
Yeah, so if they order, it's 3 to 5 days for it to ship out to them.
Oh, wow.
So we're pretty quick.
Yeah, that's very quick.
And we usually keep about the same production time at Christmas too, which is our busiest time. But
oh wow,
I think it helps with people. We plan ahead so other people don't have to as much.
Yeah, because most people, we have clients that they do not our clients who are part of this, like say you guys, they would probably not be planning ahead. They're like, oh, Christmas, it comes around every year, but for some reason it's just like December's here, and we're like, oh dang, better.
Yeah, we got to get something going in here. Yeah, that's not uncommon. I've helped with we've done like huge turnarounds too before. We did like 200 pocket journals to Canada in a 1-day turnaround time one time because they were in a hurry. And so we've done some like crazy big orders in a quick turnaround time. I've always been of the opinion that, my customer doesn't need to suffer because I didn't plan ahead. Now, of course, I have to give them realistic expectations, but of like when they'll receive it based on our production times. But we're usually pretty quick, and sometimes we can get them out quicker when it's not a busy part of time, busy time of the year for us. I guess one thing I've been thinking about and wondering too, because we haven't delved into it a lot, we have been focusing a lot more on our social media, but it's always hard to know where to focus all that energy. So, if you're going to spend time on social media, what do you guys feel is the most valuable way to spend your time on there? Facebook or Instagram, any of those?
I think our answer would change based off of your audience. I mean, who your audience is, obviously, for the wedding part of it. I think Pinterest-wise, anyway, we're just doing some research, and you mentioned it too. You have about 500,000 people who visit every month.
Yeah.
So the next thing is to say, okay, where is my audience on another platform? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? More than likely they are. And I guess when you can start to get like that second channel approach, that's really where you're going to be a lot more successful. Like it doesn't just double, it could be quadruple the amount of success you have just because you're already doing something with Pinterest. And so now just doubling down or tripling down on things like Instagram or Facebook ads would really like put a lot of gasoline to that fire.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look into that more. That's what I keep hearing is the Instagram and Facebook ads are a great way to go.
Yeah, you have a little bit more options for like targeting and reaching people too. Like I see that somebody was smart and put a Facebook pixel or like a tracking piece of code on your website right now, so that you can remarket to everybody who visits the website. So that's smart at least.
Good. We're on the right track then, huh? We keep doing little pieces at a time, and looking for our business to grow that way. So that's good to hear.
All right. So what do you think you attribute your success that you've had with your company so far?
I am going to say to having a good product and our commitment to customer service.
Awesome. Easy. All right. They'll get harder as they go. All right. So
sweet. Are they supposed to be like short answer ones where you're just
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So in the last 5 years, what's a new belief, behavior, or habit that has most improved your life?
Let's see. I'm going to say a new belief that leadership is learned and you don't just understand it automatically.
Wow.
That's definitely been one. Yeah.
That's deep. That's good. That's really good.
I know that one, there's a lot to unpack there, but there you go.
Let's see. So the next one, what purchase of $100 or less has most positively impacted your life? Could be recent memory, last 6 months.
Yeah. I am going to say good leather shears because it is crappy trying to cut through leather with like some really crappy scissors.
Which makes sense. It's like if we were trying to like run this whole company on like computers from 1995, like it just doesn't make sense.
Yes, exactly.
What do you wish you would have known when you first started the company that you know today?
It's a good question. I don't know if there's anything I wish I would have known, because I think that it's a process. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and you kind of have to learn it along the way. So maybe just the understanding. If I had known the understanding that I don't know everything and it's going to be a lot of work to continue to move forward, that probably would have had a paradigm shift sooner, to where I could recognize, yeah, I need to continually learn. I need to continually seek out resources and mentors that can help me answer my questions or point me in the right direction.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. So last question. Let's
do 2 more. She's good.
So I think, we are, and I think we actually made a podcast about failure at some point. But we want to know, I guess, what's something that you think you failed at and has been like probably one of your biggest like lessons.
Yeah, totally. Okay, first one I can think of. Can I give you 2? Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're kind of like unrelated. First one is I used to have these wooden boxes I would make that you could buy the journals, like with the journals and stuff. Yeah, those totally weren't worth it. So finally, like, nixing those, like, it was just better that way. Just get rid of them. They're cool, but they're not worth it. And they're very time consuming and that kind of thing. So knowing to nix a product like that, that's hard. And I've done that with a couple other things too before. But that was the first one. The other thing is failing my team. Like I said, I don't know everything. And so early on, there's some people that moved on, that I kept good relationship with. Like, we're still friends. But if I had known more, I probably would have been able to at least, identify things that I would want them to do to be successful. So, when a team member fails, it's really on me. And so that has been really hard, because I take things very personally. And so learning what to do to be clearer has been really key. And it really just sets them up for success. It's really about them. It's not about me. And so, that's definitely been a learning process, and I still mess up all the time. Luckily, people are forgiving.
Yes. The person who's not forgiving, let me know who they are, because they may be perfect, and I need to meet this person.
Right? Yes.
So you are obviously married. You have 4 kids. You're running a successful business. This may be non-existent, but if you did have a Netflix binge or insert Disney Plus or anything, what is your current binge right now?
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, let me think. What to do? Well, sometimes, like, my husband and I will like sit and watch TV, but like work on our computers. That's probably terrible for us. But like I'll do the easy stuff I don't have to think about, where I could do some artwork mock-ups or whatever. Let's see, what was the most recent thing we watched? I'm a big fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know if y'all have seen that. But
A few episodes,
but that's a good one.
Yeah.
I need to check that out.
I
It's
would
comedy.
check that one out. We definitely binged that one. Yeah, for sure. And it's like fun, light. So yeah, I love that one.
It's Andy Samberg, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have. Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm a
it's
fan
good
of
one.
him.
The first season's a little rough. He's a little over the top, but they're settling into their characters more. But if you get through that and stuff, it's really good. It's funny. It'll make you laugh.
Awesome. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. Learned a ton, and also will definitely be customers of yours too. That's
For
such
sure.
an amazing product line, and just cool thing that you
Thank
do.
you. Oh, we'd love to work with you guys too. That would be awesome.
Yes. How can more people find out about your business? How can they find out more about Oxenpine Leather Goods?
Yeah, they can visit our website at oxenpine.com, or also check us out on Instagram, same handle, so oxenpine. We have a lot of info on there. We have a blog too that explains more, and there's a little bit about me on there, but also like a lot about leather. So they can check it out there.
Cool. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Really appreciate you coming on here. Learned a ton.
Thanks for having me.
See ya.
The Marketing Natives Podcast is a production of BitBranding.